For me, food is all about family.
Delicious!
And those special moments when we come together over a mouth-watering meal. This is the kind of pie that says, I love you. I want to share some of my yummy family favourites. Dishes for every kind of day. But like any busy family, no 2 days are ever the same in my house. It smells incredible in here. So I love having a range of quick and easy ideas ready for any occasion. Okay, I'm stuck. Each week, I'm going to share simple and delicious recipes for different kinds of family days, from manic weekdays to wind-down weekends. Yep, I'm gonna add all of it. And I don't feel a pang of guilt. I'll be exploring the everyday ingredients we all have in our cupboards. Oh my God.
It's amazing, isn't it?
To see how to get the best out of them.
Passion fruit. How did I get it? You make that look really easy.
It is easy.
And I'm also going to travel the country meeting inspirational home cooks.
I hope my kids aren't expecting this for tea.
Who go the extra mile to make scrumptious products most of us buy in the shops.
Oh, no.
So,
I hope you're hungry. I love having people to stay, and the first thing I think is, ooh, what do I cook?
my recipes to impress guests are Piccalili Macaroni Cheese, Grapefruit Chicken Stew with Couscous, and half a Pear Crumble. But if people are staying over, you've got to give them a good breakfast. And here's a dish that's always on the table at my house. My Mocha Swirls are laced with coffee and chocolate and topped with a sticky espresso icing. Your guests will love them.
So I'm going to start off with the filling for my Mocha Swirls. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a tablespoon of butter.
To the melted butter, add 2 tablespoons of espresso powder and 2 of cocoa powder, 65 grams of soft brown sugar, and 100 grams of finely chopped dark chocolate.
I've just mixed that up and I'm just going to pop that to a side. That's done, ready. Now for my dough. Grab a bowl. Have you ever had a cinnamon swirl before? Well, this is like a cinnamon swirl, but without the cinnamon and with the mocha. It's such an easy thing to bake, but it makes you look so accomplished.
For the dough, put 450 grams of self-raising flour, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, and a pinch of salt into a bowl and give it a quick mix.
So that's my dry ingredients. Onto my wet ingredients. So I've got 100 grams of melted butter, and then to that, I'm going to add 200 mils of milk. Make sure when you've melted your butter that it's cooled.
Add a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste for flavour and 2 egg yolks.
So, and this is why you want to make sure that your butter is cold, because I'm putting egg yolks in here, and I don't want scrambled eggs before I've got Mocha Swirls. Give everything a good mix around, and then back to my dry ingredients. So I'm going to make a little well in the centre, and then add all my wet ingredients straight in. This is the kind of thing that I would have for breakfast. You know when somebody comes over to stay, like it beats cereal and toast. It feels like you've really made an effort.
Sprinkle a little flour onto the work surface, knead and roll out the dough. Aim for around 30 by 25 centimetres.
Even though I like to freestyle occasionally, I think a ruler is an essential kit for anyone who's baking. And it also makes you feel good when you get it bang on.
Spread the filling evenly across the dough, making sure to get all the way to the edges.
Imagine once that sugar's melted, along with the butter and the cocoa and the coffee and the chocolate. I know you can taste it in your mouth. I want to make sure that those swirls are lovely and tight, so when I cut into them, you see that gorgeous swirl. Like imagine you had people over to stay, they could be in bed and you could have this in and out of the oven within, what, 45 minutes?
Cut the dough into 9 equal pieces.
So if you just push it with the chubby part of your hand like that, and then all the kind of dough and the coffee and the sugar and the chocolate all kind of stick together.
Place them into a greased cake tin.
They look like they're not going to fit, but they will.
Brush with milk and pop into an oven at 180 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes.
So these have been out of the oven for about 10 minutes, and look at them, you can still see the swirls, but where they've baked, they've gone lovely and golden. So these aren't finished yet. What they need is a sticky, sweet icing.
For the icing, mix together 2 tablespoons of boiling water and 2 of espresso powder.
Give that a little mix.
Next, add a tablespoon of butter and 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. Mix until you have a thick coffee-flavoured icing.
And now to that, I'm going to add 125 grams of icing sugar. Ooh, straight in. So you want to mix that till you've got a lovely, smooth, glossy coffee icing. Oh my God, I could drink that. I'm not going to though. So now, to put my icing on top of my swirls. Cover it enough so you've got little bits of that icing kind of running through all the swirls. And that is done. There's no being polite here. You have to get your fingers straight in and then tear it straight out. I've got coffee and breakfast all in one. Serve this for breakfast, and they're definitely staying for lunch.
Believe it or not, despite all that espresso, I'm not a coffee drinker. In fact, I really don't like it. But I'd love to know how to make a perfect cuppa for my guests. I've come to the London Coffee Festival to get some tips on the finest ingredients, how best to brew them, and how to make those fancy patterns on top. I'm meeting coffee importer Will Corby for the bit I'm dreading most, tasting.
So for me, I love using coffee, but only in cake. When I'm baking, I love using coffee. But for me, I can't drink it. I just don't enjoy it.
It's okay not to like it.
But I want to be a grown-up.
Coffee grows as a fruit, so we need to treat it like a fresh food. So you want coffee that's been roasted, ideally within the last week.
Will believes fresh beans very lightly roasted could be my cup of coffee.
Should we have a taste?
Yeah, let's have a taste.
Okay.
I'm really nervous because every experience that I've had with coffee it's been terrible. It's not bitter.
It's not.
No, it's not.
No, there's some light fruitiness.
It's weird how when you actually put it in your mouth and breathe, there's a different taste. There's a flavour that I didn't expect.
You didn't pick up before?
No.
The next trick is knowing how to make the perfect cup. With so many expensive machines on the market, world champion barista Dale Harris believes precision is key. And his first tip, weighing the freshly ground beans.
Exactly the same as in baking.
I can do that.
Yeah, like if you weigh things, you have control, you can do the same thing twice.
It started to make a little bit of sense.
Dale wants to show me how using different brewing methods can make a big impact on taste. He uses exactly 24 grams of freshly ground coffee beans, 400 mils of water which is heated between 92 and 94 degrees. First up, the French press, or cafetiere.
You're just going to push it down so that all of the coffee is floating in that liquid.
Right.
It's all contributing to the final brew. And we're going to let that brew for 4 minutes, then we're going to push it down.
I want to plunge right now in 2 minutes and just to see how you react. I want to do it and just see if you like explode.
Next, Dale adds the same type of ground beans and the same amount of water into a coffee filter.
That one feels much clearer.
Yeah, so it's filtered out all of the solids from the coffee. So when you taste this, part of the texture that comes from French press is tiny, tiny particles of coffee floating in it.
I'm tasting the filter coffee first.
I don't know how to describe it. Is it like woody?
Yeah, yeah.
Or is it cardboard box? I'm not sure.
Honestly helps.
It's not bitter.
Yeah.
When you swig it like that, I get goosebumps because of, it scares me because I don't drink it.
That's that one. So this is the same coffee again. So this is from a French press.
It does taste a little bit sweeter than that one.
Yeah. This is crisp and bright. This is kind of heavy, sweet.
So we've used the same coffee beans, but different method.
Yeah.
And that tastes completely different from
Yeah.
that. I can't promise that I'm going to grind my own coffee just yet, but what I am going to do is buy the pre-ground stuff and try and at least nail a decent cup.
Yeah. You will notice, just by measuring it, it gets a little bit better straight away. It's amazing.
See, I can measure. That I can do, so I will make a decent cup of coffee when I get home.
I've learnt how to make a decent cup of coffee, but how do I make it look great so I can wow my guests? UK latte art champion Dhan has all the secrets.
So we have a beautiful espresso here.
Yeah.
Double espresso. I'll do the milk now, okay? See?
And this is, you're just frothing up
Yes,
the milk.
and then stop.
What is it that you're doing? Because
So
you're doing
I'm
something.
mixing.
Okay.
So if I make any bubbles,
Yeah.
so if I tap it, see,
Right.
you'll get rid of the bubbles.
Okay.
So, and then, see that? Pour in the middle,
Right.
Follow the white. That's important.
Follow the white. Ah, look!
It's beautiful. It's very easy, right?
Can I try?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Go for it now.
Okay, don't touch the cups though,
Okay.
okay? Don't touch it.
Okay,
I know
okay.
you're tempted. Don't you dare. I don't know. Oh my God, that is the smallest heart in the world.
Yes, that is, yeah.
No, it's a coffee bean.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
Yes, that's what I intended it to be.
I mean, there is a good side. Did you have a very beautiful contrast? You did great.
I might not have the taste for coffee, but at least my guests will get a decent cup now. One thing's for sure, if you have guests, you don't want to spend the whole time cooking. My recipe for macaroni cheese is a real crowd pleaser. It's also really simple to make. My mac and cheese is creamy, cheesy and spiked with piccalili to add extra flavour.
The difference with this macaroni cheese is that there's no white sauce. It's all cheese.
First, put your pan on a low heat. Then add 350 grams of grated cheddar.
So I've already cooked and cooled the pasta. And that's kind of the start of every good macaroni cheese, is to have the macaroni cooked, cooled, ready. I like to just kind of like agitate the cheese a little bit. And this is the bit where there's no actual white sauce. I'm not making a basic white sauce. I'm melting the cheese down. I just say, you know what, cut out the middleman. If you want to eat mac and cheese, I got mac and I got me some cheese. Why do we need a white sauce?
Keep stirring the cheddar until it melts down.
So look. Like, as I'm moving it around, the cheese is starting to melt and you're getting this kind of really thick, cheesy sauce. So now we've got like what looks like liquid cheese. Now, my pre-boiled macaroni, I'm gonna whack that lot in there, all of it, get it all in.
I'm using 250 grams of macaroni.
Right now, the cheese has kind of clung itself to the macaroni, and this is just gonna get richer and richer and more delicious. So I've got a whole egg, crack the egg in, keep the heat really low, and then just mix the egg in. I'm not making a macaroni cheese so it's light. I want it to be rich and thick, and I want it to fill me up and give me a big cuddle on the inside.
Mix in 180 grams of cream cheese and a pinch of salt.
I mean, that's it. If you wanted to have a macaroni cheese that was just a mac and cheese, that's it. But I like the contrast of creamy, thick mac and cheese with something a little bit sharp, and that's where my piccalili comes in. I love piccalili. It's got all of my favourite flavours: turmeric, mustard, cumin. Love all those flavours.
Cut into bite-sized pieces.
Not only does the piccalili add colour, it also adds crunch. So when you go in and have that soft mac and cheese, in between you'll get that odd crunch of those tangy vegetables. Get that straight in there. You don't need much. A little bit goes a really long way.
Mix in a teaspoon of onion seeds. Pour the mix into a casserole dish, making sure it's level on the top.
This mac and cheese does not need any more cheese. All it needs is a crumbly topping.
To make the crispy topping, add 50 grams of melted butter to 100 grams of dried breadcrumbs and mix together. Sprinkle over the pasta so it's completely covered.
And all that needs is to be baked for 30 minutes so the macaroni is piping hot and the crumbs on top are lovely and crisp and golden. Look at that. Oh, listen to the sounds it makes. Oh, it's calling me. Eat me. See, I would serve that just as it is while it's still bubbling and squeaking and making lots of noise. Macaroni cheese doesn't have to just be a side dish. It can be a main event too.
Piccalili mac and cheese. A simple but impressive lunch for your guests. A hearty stew is perfect when you have people to stay, but I like to liven it up a bit, and I love adding citrus flavours to my savoury dishes.
This chicken stew is such a simple thing to make, but the grapefruit adds a little bit of razzle-dazzle.
To start, mix half a teaspoon of turmeric into a kilo of chicken pieces. I like to use thighs for flavour. Fry the chicken to seal in the turmeric.
I'm not cooking the chicken all the way through. I just want to kind of colour the outside. And you can see where it's fried. Now suddenly it's gone from being a little bit yellow to really vibrant and yellow. And when turmeric is heated up, the smell is completely different. With a stew, it's about building flavour. And just by frying that chicken beforehand, you're going to get that turmeric, but cooked, light turmeric flavour through the whole stew. So that's my chicken done. And then I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the pan. You see all those lovely bits of chicken, the brown bits on the side? That's what you want. You want all of that because that's going to add flavour. So same pan. I'm saving you up on some washing here as well, remember? And you're going to get, like, crazy flavour.
Add 3 cloves of chopped garlic.
See, I said turmeric smells nice. Then I go and add garlic to the mix, and it smells incredible in here.
While the garlic softens, finely dice a small onion and add to the pan.
And then I'm going to add a good pinch of salt. And you can see where the onions are quite dry. By adding the salt, it's going to release some of the moisture from the onions.
Then add another half a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 tablespoons of ground cumin, and a teaspoon of chilli flakes.
So I've turned the heat down because I've got those dry spices in there and they could burn quite quickly. So I'm just turning it down and letting them kind of cook and toast gently. And in the meantime, I am going to get onto my grapefruit. When I think stew, I think winter, cold, kind of eat it under a duvet on a winter's night. This is where I think this stew is different. This is the kind of stew you can have in the summer because it's zesty and it's fresh. I mean, it's one thing zesting an orange, but grapefruits are a lot bigger. There's a lot more to zest. And then what I want is the juice. And this is the kind of thing that I would make if somebody was coming to stay over. You can say to someone, I'm making you a stew for dinner, but what they're not expecting is grapefruit in it. And that's what I like, is the unexpected.
Stir in all the grapefruit juice and add the chicken back into the pan. Add 500 ml of hot water and 2 tablespoons of corn flour mixed with 2 tablespoons of water.
So I'm going to leave that, let that thicken, let it simmer away, and I'm going to go make my couscous. And by the time the couscous is done, the stew will be done, and supper will be ready. Then I'm going to add a few knobs of butter, just straight in. And this is going to make it lovely and just a little bit creamy. And then hot water. I like to just kind of pour in one spot and just let the couscous come up. And about, to me, I'd say about 1 centimetre above the top, that's it.
Cover the couscous and let it soak up the water.
Already, look, it's happening. It's easier than boiling rice.
A handful of fresh parsley brings great colour to the stew.
So the sauce has thickened, the chicken's cooked, and that turmeric that's coated the chicken, that's in the sauce, it's just, and that grapefruit, you can really, really smell that grapefruit. It's making my mouth water. So my couscous is ready.
A pinch of salt to the couscous and you're good to go.
Look how fluffy that couscous is. I mean, look at that. That is a yummy plate of food. You've got that lovely spice from the turmeric and that tanginess from the grapefruit and then that lovely fresh parsley on top. I mean, that is a winning combination. You've got to give it a go.
Judging what your guests will like to eat can be a challenge, particularly when it comes to spicy food and chilli.
So I'm here to meet a self-confessed chilli geek who thinks that making your own hot sauce is the way forward.
George Benson's South London flat is apparently the place to go to borrow a jar of hot sauce.
In here, we've got a few.
A few?
Just a few, yeah.
I was expecting one shelf,
I know.
but there's 2 packed shelves. So you've gone from growing chilies to having a cupboard full of chilies.
Yeah.
And then now you make your own chili sauce.
Yeah, so growing chilies, kind of, I went from kind of tomatoes to bell peppers to chilies.
Yeah.
And then each year I'll try and grow a different chili, just to see. Each chili kind of like is different and grows differently, has a different crop and everything like that.
We're talking about chilies and I'm salivating because I'm like, you're gonna have to make me some chili sauce now.
We will. So today we're going to make pepper mash out of these red chilies.
Mash to me is potatoes. So what's this mash you speak of?
I guess it's called a mash because you're mashing it a little bit and you're mixing it with salt. And then that is basically a foundation for, like, so many different hot sauces.
OK.
By making his own, George is in complete control of the heat and intensity of the sauce, giving him a homemade range to suit any guest's palate.
So in here we've got the salt, so you kind of want to just sprinkle that on. Basically, what's this going to do is going to kind of help withdraw all the juice from the chilli, which is going to help ferment it, and you're going to get that lovely flavour from the chilli in.
Gently crush the chilies with a potato masher to squeeze out all the juices.
Oh my God, if people could smell this, right? The smell.
It's good, isn't it? It's so lovely.
How's that looking?
That's looking good, yeah. I think we're good there.
The chilies are left overnight to reduce down.
Wow, look how much juice is coming out of that.
It's nice, isn't it?
So water all the way to the top?
Yep, so you can just kind of make sure they're a little bit submerged.
Store in a cupboard for 2 weeks before starting the next stage.
So out of this, we're going to make the pepper mash, and I'm going to use that for the basis of my sriracha sauce.
OK, so this is the start of a sriracha.
It's a start, yeah.
Sriracha is essentially a classic hot chili sauce.
Oh, that's mushy.
Yeah.
Using safety gloves, put the chilies into a blender and try to keep out as many seeds as possible.
Not getting the seeds in, basically, you're going to keep the flavour as it is. And also, I think it will keep the heat level as it is. If you have the seeds in there, it will continue to kind of, like, heat up.
So this is pretty much a pepper mash?
This is pretty much it. It's the final stages.
Do we need to add anything else to this?
We're just going to add a few tablespoons of rice wine vinegar.
OK.
That will just help keep it. And then you can keep this in the fridge up to 6 months.
Oh, so the vinegar helps to preserve it, to keep it?
It may be a long process, but each batch will be enough for several different sauces.
So that is pepper mash.
It smells so good.
So, yeah, it's a bit gassy, isn't it?
To transform the mash into sriracha sauce, dissolve equal amounts of brown and white sugar in rice wine vinegar. How sweet is up to you. Next, add a few tablespoons of the mash along with as much chopped garlic as you'd like.
This is definitely going to help the flavour and give it that nice kind of sweet sriracha taste.
Then blitz.
There we go. So these are some of the ones which I've been making.
Can we taste the sriracha? That is good.
I added that tiny little bit more garlic.
You know me well. I like garlic too. That is so good.
That is good, yeah.
The red chilies used in this sauce are relatively mild, but it's the same process with hotter chilies. George's trick is to use different strengths of chili and have bottles ready prepared, so he can cater for any taste.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that to happen in my mouth.
Yeah. All the sauces I make are kind of like, generally I don't try and kill people with them, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of keep them to a nice spice level where everyone can enjoy them rather than...
Please tell my husband that.
You've got to have a hot sauce for everything, is what I say.
You've got to have a hot sauce for everyone. So you know that when people come over to yours for a party or to stay over, there's a hot sauce for everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And even people who, like, don't like heat that much, like, kind of like the sriracha and like that, because there's just so much flavour in that.
No, you don't want to kill people. Like, you don't want to be doing that.
You want to stay away from that.
No, yeah.
When you've got guests, you really have to do a pudding.
This is like a crumble, but a little bit fancier. But the best thing is, nobody fights over portions.
I like my crumble with more fruit and less crumble. And these individual pear crumbles are the perfect dessert to show off when you have people to stay. First, peel the pears.
Crumble is something that I have in my house all the time. It's a really good way of using up leftover fruit, and then you just kind of bit of crumble on top in the oven. So when someone comes over to stay, I like to make a crumble, but something that's a little bit fancier, something that says I didn't just kind of whack this together.
Leaving the stalks on, cut the pears in half.
So I'm going to poach my pears in apple juice. The first time I saw pears being poached, it was on television and it was in red wine. Now, I don't drink, so it doesn't mean I can't have a poached pear. So this is my alternative if you don't drink.
With the pears bubbling in the apple juice, split a vanilla pod and add to the mix. Make sure you use all the seeds.
So I've got the gas on and I'm going to let these boil and simmer for about 30 minutes. And as the pears boil, all the apple juice is going to kind of permeate into the rest of the pears and make them lovely and soft. So I'm going to leave that and then I'm going to make my crumble.
Add 50 grams of plain flour and 25 grams of butter.
I'm rubbing my butter into my flour. So you've got these lovely buttery, floury clumps, which is perfect.
25 grams of demerara sugar and 100 grams of granola. Add sweetness and crunch.
So my crumble's ready. I'm just going to check if my pears are cooked. They're lovely and soft in the middle, which is perfect. I'm going to turn that off. So my pears have cooled, and I'm just going to fish them out. Before I do anything else to the pears, what I want to do is make a syrup out of the apple juice and the vanilla. I don't want to throw any of it away. That's worked really hard to kind of poach my pears, and I want to keep every last bit of it. So I'm going to turn the heat back up.
150 grams of demerara sugar will transform the juice into a delicious syrup for the crumble. Scoop out the inside of the pears and fill the holes with balls of marzipan.
If you don't like marzipan on your fruitcake, try cooking marzipan when it's hot and gooey and almondy. Then you'll change your mind about marzipan.
Put the pears into a dish and carefully place the crumble onto each half.
I mean, you know what? I am all for a crumble, but there is something lovely about being able to see those individual poached pears with that lovely crumbly topping. And then what's even nicer is that nobody knows there's that hidden surprise of marzipan in the middle.
Bake in the oven for 20 minutes at 180 degrees. And make sure you keep an eye on the apple syrup.
It doesn't look like a crumble, but it is. You've got that lovely, soft apple poached pear, and then my gorgeous apple caramel. From the time the crumble's been in the oven, that has just slowly been cooking away, and it's gone from cloudy apple juice with vanilla to this kind of amber golden caramel. My brother always says, what's the point in dinner if there's no pudding afterwards? And you know what? He's not wrong. All roads should lead to pudding, especially if it's pear crumble.
Served with a scoop of ice cream, my half-pear crumble is the perfect pudding to give to your friends and family when they visit. One thing's for sure, if you come to stay at my house, you won't leave feeling hungry.
No, I want the ice cream. I think I'm gonna have to cut.
Oh, but look, there's a little surprise in the middle of the pear.
Oh, wow. Marzipan, that's it.
It's a nice little surprise, isn't it?
I might just be able to live with this.